Oops, here I am, I forgot again. Okay, sorry, I had to plug in my microphone. Kind of look like I have a bird's nest going on here. But we're going to stay focused on what we're reading today, which is Genesis chapter 46, King James and the Message version. I'm going to start with King James. And by the way, I hope that you guys are having a really good resurrection weekend and ending your Passover, and I hope your Shabbat yesterday was great. It's a good holy time. Man, oh man, I gotta tell you, I've been having some interesting attempted spiritual attacks during this time. It's just really out there, even in my dreams. But I'm gonna keep pressing forward and stay with my God, because He is the only hope, really. So I'm just glad to have Him, and I'm going to continue to read His Word, because He's got me doing this for some reason, for somebody out there, probably also for myself. So let's get started. This is Genesis chapter 46, King James Version. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the Lord of his father Isaac. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will make there of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, their little ones, and their wives, in the wagon which Pharaoh had sent to carry them. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten from the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. And these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt: Jacob and his sons, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and the sons of Reuben, Hanach, and Phalu, and Hezron, and Camri. And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel, and Jamin, and Ohad, and Jachin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of the Canaanitish woman. And the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. And the sons of Judah, and Onan, and Shelah, and Phares, and Zara. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Phares were Hezron and Hamul. And the sons of Issachar, Tola, and Phuvah, and Job, and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulun, Zered, and Elon, and Jalil. These be the sons of Leah, which he bare unto Jacob in Paddan Aram, with his daughter Dinah. All the souls of his sons and daughters were 33. The sons of Gad, Ziphion, and Haggai, Shuni, and Esbon, Eri, and Arodi, and Areli. And the sons of Asher, Jimnah and Ishua and Izui and Beriah and Sarah, their sister. And the sons of Beriah, Heber and Malchiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter. And these she bare unto Jacob, even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bare unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela, and Becher, and Ashbel, Gera, and Naaman, Ea, and Rosh, Mupen, and Hupen, and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel, which were born to Jacob. All the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hishim. And the sons of Naphtali, Jazeel, and Guni, and Jazar, and Shulim. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel his daughter, and she bare these unto Jacob. All the souls were 7. All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, all the sons were 66. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came unto Egypt, were 70. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen, and they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot, and went up to meet Israel his father to Goshen, and presented himself unto him, and fell on his neck, and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said unto Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren, and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, My brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me, and the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle. And they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, What is your occupation? That ye shall say, Thy servant's trade hath been about cattle from our youth, even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. I'm going straight into the message right now. This is Genesis chapter 46, the Message version. So Israel set out on a journey with everything he owned. He arrived at Beersheba and worshipped, offering sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. God spoke to Israel in a vision that night. Jacob, Jacob. Yes, he said, I'm listening. God said, I am the God of your father. Don't be afraid of going down to Egypt. I'm going to make you a great nation there. I'll go with you down to Egypt. I'll also bring you back there. And when you die, Joseph will be with you. With his own hand, he'll close your eyes. Then Jacob left Beersheba. Israel's sons loaded their father and their little ones and their wives on the wagons Pharaoh sent to carry them. They arrived in Egypt with the livestock and the wealth they had accumulated in Canaan. Jacob brought everyone in his family with him, sons and grandsons, daughters and granddaughters, everyone. These are the names of the Israelites: Jacob and his descendants who went to Egypt. Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. Reuben's sons: Hanach, Palu, Hezron, and Camri. Simeon's sons: Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Sohar, and Shoal, and the son of a Canaanite woman. Levi's son: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Judah's sons: Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. And Onan had already died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamuel. Issachar's sons: Tola, Puah, Jashub, and Shimron. Zebulun's sons: Zered, Elon, and Jalil. These are the sons that Leah bore to Jacob in Padan Aram. There was also his daughter Dinah. Altogether, sons and daughters, they numbered 33. Gad's sons: Zephon, Hagi, Shuni, Esbon, Eri, Arodi, and Arali. Asher's sons: Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Bariah. Also their sister Sarah. And Bariah's sons: Heber and Malkiel. These are the children that Zilpah, the maid that Laban gave to his daughter Leah, bore unto Jacob, 16 of them. The sons of Jacob's wife, Rachel, were Joseph and Benjamin. Joseph was the father of 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. His marriage to Asenath, daughter of Potipharah, priest of On. They were born to him in Egypt. Benjamin's sons were Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ehi, Rosh, Mupim, Hupim, and Ard. These are the children born to Jacob through Rachel, 14. Dan's son, Hushim. Naphtali's sons, Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shiliam. These are the children born to Jacob through Bilhah, the maid Laban had given to his daughter Rachel, 7. Summing up, all those who went down to Egypt with Jacob, his own children, not counting his sons' wives, numbered 66, counting in the 2 sons born to Joseph in Egypt, the members of Jacob's family who ended up in Egypt, numbered 70. Jacob sent Judah on ahead to get directions from Joshen from Joseph. When they got to Joshen, Joseph gave orders for his chariot and went to Joshen or Goshen to meet his father Israel. The moment Joseph saw me, threw himself on his neck and wept. He wept a long time. Israel said to Joseph, "I'm ready to die. I've looked unto your face, and you are indeed alive." Joseph then spake to his brothers and his father's family, I'll go and tell Pharaoh, my brothers and my father's family, all of whom lived in Canaan, have come to me. The men are shepherds. They've always made their living by raising livestock, and they've brought their flocks and herds with them, along with everything else they own. When Pharaoh calls you in and asks what kind of work you do, tell him, your servants have always kept livestock for as long as we can remember. We and our parents also. That way he'll let you stay apart in the area of Goshen. For Egyptians look down on anyone who is a shepherd. Okay, sorry, I had to check something really quick. I always say that I don't have much commentary, but I mean, again, it's pretty much Israel's sons, his family, his lineage, the sons, the children, the wives, the grandchildren, whatever. They're all going to Egypt because of this famine. And Joseph's, the leader. He's going to take care of them. He's even putting a word in for Pharaoh so that they can remain set apart as shepherds. There's a big deal, and this is mentioned before when they were having dinner, when Joseph was having dinner and before he revealed himself, that they were eating separately from the Egyptians because they don't eat together. So there's already some kind of like weird discrimination situation happening here. And it's mentioned again, Egyptians, it says in verse 34, that ye shall say thy servant's trade hath been with about cattle from our youth even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Like there's just a clear separation from the Hebrews and the Egyptians. They don't eat together. They don't really dwell together. The Israelites are seen as abominations, in some way. But Pharaoh's got favor over them because God's got favor over Joseph. And this is just part of God's plan. God even mentions in the beginning of this chapter, he comes to Israel, aka Jacob, in a dream, and he says in verse 3, and he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. He's basically saying, like, he's going to see his father, but the main part that I noticed about that was that he's going to be with them. This is part of his plan, that they're to go back to Egypt, and he says he's going to take them out too, which, if you read Exodus with me, you'll find out that whole story. It's a very famous story for some of you that have not read it and you're going through the Bible with me for the first time. It's a really good story. Exodus it's cool. But God is saying that, this is a part of his plan. And so it doesn't matter that Pharaoh or the Egyptians kind of have a thing or discrimination against Jews or Hebrews, Israelites, whatever you want to call them. Because God is here. God's hand is in this, so it doesn't matter how things look or, whatever, the opinions or the customs or whatever. None of that stuff matters. So I want to put that into play because I just noticed, like, in real life, well, in today's time, I need to stop saying in real life, in today's time, 2025 or whatever, and any time that you're living, there are circumstances that are extremely undesirable, even down to, maybe how you live or where you live and the people that you're around, and I can vouch for that. I'm in a very undesirable living circumstance. I'm not going to get too deep into it until God has wrapped it up and delivered me from my own little Egypt here. But what I came to realize about it is that it's all like a part of his plan one way or another. He even uses the evil hearts of others for his plan. unbeknownst to them, most of the time, they just think that they're just, you know, it's their will or whatever. But God's will is like the end all be all will. And I also noticed that there's a similarity in here too, is when you're walking with God and you're following God, there seems to be this, I don't know, like if you don't have God and then you're around somebody who does have God and you're following that and they're following that narrow path, it seems to bring out the worst in people or the demons in people. I couldn't really explain to you why that is. Probably something to do with the demons within them. And I've been really thinking about this, guys. Like, most people don't know that they have demons in them. Even I've had demons in me, at some point. Like I've explained that I've had a thing with alcohol for a while. I was using it to quote unquote numb my pain or just be normal, like because society did it. But in reality, I was inviting demons and evil portals into my life, which also brought like unfortunate events, not really devastatingly unfortunate, but to me, by my standard, it was just the disappointment of wanting to depend on a drink to relax, something as small as that. I've been blessed enough and God has kept me enough to where I haven't had any really crazy stories where I drank and I ended up at some party or in bed with somebody or something. Like, that's never happened to me. I've never blacked out from drinking either, but from my standard, just drinking and depending on a drink to make me feel better was enough to make me convicted where I didn't want to do it anymore. And God, thankfully, I'm so grateful He released me from that. Like, I find another way to find a way to relax, and it is through Him and His ways and His word, and it's through my relationship with God, really. That's how I find my ways to relax and be cool, and it's just one of the best decisions I ever made. One of the worst decisions I ever made was ever trying a drink in the first place, and I only did it because other people around me were saying, oh, it's normal to drink and stuff, and I just wanted to belong and stuff, so I started drinking because people said it was normal, I didn't do it because I really wanted to. So I'm glad that chapter of my life is over, but back to the whole demon thing. Everybody's had something, in this world that has tempted you that just was so fleshy or worldly or just not good for you. And for me specifically, I told you that it was the drink, but for others, it could be something completely different. It could be a whole legion of things, And that's where that legion comes from, It's people with multiple issues, multiple demons, multiple dark activities that feed into doing negative things or treating people in negative ways. I don't know what else to tell you, but if you're really, truly happy in life, you don't spend even an ounce of your existence trying to make someone miserable. That's just a key sign. If you're dealing with anybody you can see that they're just trying to do wrong or they're just trying to, even passive aggressively, that's a person that's got a lot of problems. You should know that, so that they don't get to project whatever's going on with them on you, especially if you're just walking with God and doing nothing, For me, I read the Bible, I sing hymns, I just appreciate the small things in life. And for some reason it just seems to tick some people off, even though they don't know me. And it's just, honestly, those people got problems. That's creepy and that's super unhinged. So I don't know. I've learned to really see things for what it is. The gift of discernment, God will give it to you when you're walking with Him. He'll show you the truth of, it's like X-ray glasses into somebody's soul. But the same thing is kind of happening here with this whole Egyptian thing, There's this whole separation from, and on purpose, it seems too. Even though God is using these people and there's a clear detestment of the Jews, He's got them here. He's going to bring them out eventually. He's made this promise. But while they're here in this place, they're going to be set apart. And I love the fact that they are shepherds, right? It's just, oh my gosh, they are the chosen people. Think of that, okay, guys? They're shepherds. What people still do that today? I'm just going to put that out there. What people still do that today? They're born and they always believed in God since they were born. Anyway, and they're always talking about God some way or another, who are those people, I'm going to leave that there, right there where you think about. Also, they're always discriminated against. Who are those? And I mean, there is no, super prosperity or the worldly nature for these people. Think about that. Who are those type of people that's gone through that still go through that today? Okay? We're talking about lineage in this chapter 46. And again, we're going through the 12 tribes of Israel, aka Jacob's sons. There's a few other people who are talked about, like Dinah, okay? But it's mostly like a big focus on his sons and the children of these sons as well. And, just some of the things that we've learned already, like what's his name? Judah. I shouldn't forget him. That's terrible. Judah's and Onan, who died because they were just gross dudes. No offense. They were just not men of God, and they were just doing some foul activity that God just had to take them out. But even they were mentioned here. And it just goes to show you, when we go back to other chapters where they talk about the lineage of certain people, like, for instance, Edom, aka Esau's lineage, right? It's so much detail into even like the tiniest little this and that, the daughter that was there, the grandchild of this and that, and who died during this time and that time. There's a reason why. It's because, and it's extremely detailed down to a T. It's because the lineage is there to tell you who's who today. I mean, this is better than what's that website or that organization that will track your bloodline or whatever. I don't remember what it is right now, but it's like you can look up your ancestors through it, your family tree. This is better than anything like that, because I mean, it tells you right here, just in literally person for person, who's what, and you can track it to find out who anyone is in this world or what people they come from, just from reading this. Even though these names are funny, and I made like a short to my struggle saying the names, because it was like, I don't know, it was just, the names are out there, man. They're something. But I try to take my time and really read them, because it is important. And it doesn't matter how tricky or unfamiliar. Probably that's why it's so tricky, is because these are not really names that people use today. They're not really the most popular names in the world. Maybe they were at this point, who knows, but it's because your brain just doesn't really recognize them that I find myself struggling. But anyway, there's one other thing that I noticed. Oh, well, there's a couple other things, but I like the whole Joseph and Jacob coming together and him finding out that his son is still alive, actually being able to see him and things. I just think that's so beautiful. It doesn't really matter like what disagreements and mistakes everybody made, because people are human, but you can tell that these are men of God. These are people who are trying, maybe they just didn't do things exactly right, but deep down their heart was in it, they cared. So I just really, really like that. It just reminds me of like every time I've prayed to God for me to let me see my grandmother again, he always makes it happen, and he always lets me have this prolonged period of time to spend with her. Every single time I've always prayed that. He's always done it. So I know he's got another one of those coming from me, because I've been praying about that a lot lately. And who knows how he's going to arrange it, but I know that he'll do it. I guess the main thing also that stands out to me in this chapter is the famine. I've been wanting to mention that for the last few days, probably for the past week, really, since we started reading about the famine. It's so interesting that I'm reading this now during a time that the United States is literally, we're entering one. Just politics, man, they're just absolutely ridiculous. I don't really believe in one person running a bunch of people. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to create some sort of uprising here, but in the end, if we wanted to stop it, we could all rise up against that 1%. No offense, but I'm gonna leave that there. Because I don't really believe in a human being running other human beings. There's only one true king, and it's God. Jesus Christ, aka Yahushua HaMashiach. He's the only ruler of this world. He's the only true king. I don't know what anybody else is doing, and that includes the enemy. I don't know what anybody else is doing, because none of you guys are king. There's only one being that is in control of this whole thing, and it's not you, the creation. It's not you. So I don't know, when people ask me, who did you vote for, or, who do you support or whatever, I support God. I support Jesus Christ. I don't know who you support. You know, you can support whatever politician in whatever part of the world you wish. God gives us that freedom of choice, but the true king is the creator, the one that keeps the world turning and keeps everything in balance every single day, that gives us life and gives us breath every second. That's the real king. I don't know any other being that can do that. And that's just the very tip of the iceberg of what the creator can do. So, I don't know. But the famine. This is my attention deficit, really getting in here. But this is what I've noticed. Is like nothing's a coincidence, and there's a reason why I'm reading about a famine and stocking up while it's actually happening in real time. I would definitely recommend, if you can, having, stocking up if you can. I know some people just don't have the provisions or the money and stuff, and don't worry if you don't have that, because I know there's a lot of like people that talk about how you got to stock up and stuff, and I know there's a lot of people who just don't have the provisions to do so. And I'm really trying to reassure you and tell you, please don't worry about that if that's the case for you, because God still sees you and he's going to take good care of you even if you don't seemingly have things going for you. Just believe in him and really stay true to him and stay walking on that narrow path. He's going to help you. Okay, he's going to help you survive this, whatever it is. Whatever is meant to happen, you're in good hands if you're just with God. And it doesn't matter what it looks like, guys. Man, I can tell you, like, even earlier today, I was feeling kind of down, because I'm just tired of negativity and negative people and just unnecessarily, like, attempted abusive situations and stuff. I'm just kind of tired of dealing with that just because I love God and I live in peace. That's really out there. But God is just reassuring me, like, these are just attacks from the enemy, and unfortunately people inhabit those demons, and those demons that they have, it makes them susceptible to doing the will of the enemy because they're in the world. The only way that they won't be doing that is if God puts that mighty right hand and starts changing things within them. And even if he doesn't do that, even if he leaves them to like a reprobate type of mentality, God can still use that evil for your good, the good of those who love him. So just don't be afraid. It can be really tiring and annoying after a long while. But it's a good idea, and I'm going to just speak from experience. For me, I'm going to just keep holding on to God. Nothing's going to separate me from him. And I had a dream just before this. I had a little nap, and in my dream, I was quoting a Bible verse, like, fear not the one that can destroy the body, but the one that can destroy both body and soul in hell. Because in the end, that's the worst that anybody here can do to you, is take your life. And I know that seems really, like, extreme, but there are people out here dying for this reason because they follow God. And, yeah, it might be masked under some other thing. I killed this person because of this. No, it's really because they had a light and you don't, and you wanted to put it out. But you can't put out that light. You stay with God, even if something like that were to happen to you. God forbid. I pray that this doesn't happen to any of you guys. But if it does, just know that your light isn't put out. You just get to be with the Father. You don't have to deal with none of this crazy stuff anymore. And they do. And they have God's vengeance coming from. They've got Satan coming back to collect, and they've got something interesting to look forward to after they die if they don't change their ways. So I don't know, that sounds really extreme, but this is just reality. It says it in this book that we're reading right now. A lot of Proverbs about that, a lot of Psalms about that. So I guess what I'm gonna say at this point is, I'm just relating this to the famine that's coming. And it's just good to kind of keep a mindset, like, believing that God's going to have your back, just like he has Joseph and his brothers and his father and his family's back. You're going to still be set apart, and you might even be discriminated against because you believe in God and follow him. But in no way and for no reason should you stop following him, because that's the point of all of it. That's the point of the spiritual attack, is to get you to quit and to be like them or something. I don't know. But you don't have to be. And I had a moment where it was like, I kind of was really upset and I wanted to be, but it was like, that's not who I am. And that's not who God made me to be. And I don't want to be that. It doesn't matter if somebody's that way to me. I don't want to be that, and I won't be that, even if you deserve it. I'm going to let God take care of that and remain as blameless as possible. Not just to please my God, but to be who I really am, which is not someone doing wicked things or hateful things. So just stay on that narrow path. God's got your back. It may not look like it sometimes. And today I was wondering, I was feeling like he wasn't around. But I know he is. And I'm going to just stick with that. It doesn't matter what it looks like. I believe in him. And he's been showing me some things today to try to cheer me up and let me know that he's here. And that this is all a part of his plan. I'm just ready for change, personally. So I've been ready. I've got everything ready to go. And I'm just waiting for him to just open the door. I say that to him so many times a day at this point. Please, Lord, Father, open the door. So I'm just going to hold on to that faith that he's going to open it for me at the right time, and that time is very, very soon. Because he doesn't have plans to harm us or to keep us, in terrible situations and things or around evil. He has plans to give us hope in a future and to separate us from the tares. He has plans for that. And his word always comes back just as he said. It never returns void. It must play itself out. So all you got to do is just believe. And it says that in this Bible too. Only believe, be still. Be still and know that he's God. So anyway, we're going to move on to chapter 47 tomorrow. I got a few things I need to do this week because there's some really cool things that are happening for me this week that's new. I'm really nervous about it, but I'm going to just believe in God that he's going to get me through whatever this is all supposed to mean. He's going to see to it that it carries itself out, and I just want to be ready and prepared. I want to be in expectation and just obedient the best I can. So, guys, I think this is the end of the video this time. I didn't make it to 45 or an hour like before. I think it's getting a little bit shorter maybe. I guess it doesn't really matter. We're talking about God and his word, so there's no time limit on that. I pray that you've gotten something out of this chapter as always, and whatever seems to stand out to you about this, please do, share your opinion. I would love to hear it. Thumb up this video if you can, please, just for the algorithm of those who are looking for this type of Bible study that's just really slow. And whereas a Bible study that I'm in outside of this is called Slow and Careful Bible Study. And this kind of reminds me of that because it's very slow and careful too. So maybe not as slow and careful as that one though, because we can spend weeks on a verse, or on a chapter, but still this in its own way is slow and careful. So if you're looking for something like that, or you want to help others find it, just thumb it up. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I pray that God blesses your day and your resurrection day, and that this whole weekend has touched you in a special way. No matter if there was some sort of I don't know if there was some sort of spiritual warfare happening during this time. Just know that it just means you're on the right track. And don't let anything separate you from God, okay? Nothing separates you from it. Even people threatening your well-being that don't even know you, which is something that I've been dealing with lately. I don't know these people, and they're grown men. It seems very racist and everything. I'm going to talk to you guys about it once God delivers me from it, which I feel like he's going to do very soon. But, yeah, just don't fear anything. Just be bold and believe in God no matter what, because he's got your back. He's going to take care of you, just like he's taking care of me. So, you guys, God bless, and I just pray a hedge of protection over all of us and our coming and going, over our lives, over our soul, over our everything. I love you guys, and I'll see you in chapter 47 tomorrow. God bless and shalom.